Hello friends, I'm Akash and this is your News of the Week for the week of July 17th to July 23rd, 2022. I'm Akash Cody and we have some very big stories for you this week. First up, Russia and Ukraine announce a deal to resume grain exports. Next, the dangerous heat waves affecting the USA and Europe. A new president of India, Ms. Droupadi Murmu, has been elected. And finally, an update on COVID-19 with two important stories to look at there. So let's take a look at your News of the Week. And we begin with the fact that Ukraine is the largest exporter of wheat in the entire world, exporting 44.9 million tons of wheat a year, equaling roughly 10% of global wheat exports. But due to the Russo-Ukrainian crisis and the invasion of Ukraine, food exports have paused entirely since the Russian invasion of Ukraine began in February of 2022. This week, Turkey and the United Nations mediated and brokered a deal between Russia and Ukraine in order to rescue the world from the ongoing food crisis by allowing Ukraine to resume its exportation of food grains. Most of Ukraine's major grain silos are based around the southern coast with the Black Sea. And the ongoing food crisis is a result of two things: the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Let's look at each of these in turn. The COVID-19 pandemic prompted a whole wave of following crises that affected energy, inflation, and the global supply chain. This all led to food security concerns that primarily affected Africa, Southern Asia, Central and South America, and a few countries in Europe, one of which was Ukraine. Plus, the lack of fertilizers due to transportation restrictions became a big major hassle in producing food. And Russia is the world's largest exporter of fertilizers. So, when the Russian invasion of Ukraine began, Russia just blockaded the Black Sea grain silos, preventing shipments of wheat from being exported out to the rest of the world. This led to the current situation in which 10% of worldwide grain exports are completely unavailable to the outside world because they're stuck in Ukraine, causing a 2022 food crisis. So, to avert this, the UN and Turkey brokered a deal between Russia and Ukraine such that Russia will end its blockade. This is a big step forward, not only to ending this food crisis, but ending the hostility between these two countries overall. Because this is the first time since the Russian invasion of Ukraine began that these two countries have actually worked together in anything, really. Just after this deal was signed, though, Russia fired missiles at a city in Ukraine that serves as a port to the Black Sea, Odessa, which is the third largest city in Ukraine. And given Odessa is a port to the Black Sea, which Russia had blockaded, it just continues to raise questions as to how committed Russia really is in this deal and to the state of this whole situation in the first place. Next up, the month of July has recorded scorching heat waves both in the United States and in Europe, setting new records at an astonishing pace. The southern, central, and northeastern parts of the United States of America have been suffering from sweltering heat and record-breaking temperatures for the past few weeks. Humidity, combined with temperatures going over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, is going to be very dangerous, especially in much of the East Coast. The New York governor, Kathy Hochul, has urged people to be on alert for this dangerous heat wave and is urging them to take a great advantage in cooling centers. Speaking of which, the mayor of Washington, D.C. has issued a heat emergency and stated that the city has opened up shelters and cooling centers for those who need them. Now, that is the current situation that's going on in relation to the United States heat wave. But there are far more severe cases that's going on in Europe right now, as Europe is witnessing the most severe temperatures in over years. And this has all happened over the past few weeks. Records are being broken. The UK saw temperatures of 104 degrees, or 40 degrees Celsius, which is something that we have never seen before in the country. And a national emergency was issued and several wildfires broke out across London as a result of the heat wave, the first time that has happened in years. Record-breaking temperatures caused huge wildfires in France, and thousands of people were evacuated. A serac, S-E-R-A-C, which is a sort of glacier on the Marmolada Mountain in northeastern Italy, collapsed, causing the deaths of 11 people. Scientists blame these record-breaking temperatures on climate change due to global warming. So if you live in one of these dangerous heat wave areas, please don't go outside and make sure to stay cool. On July 21st, 2022, Ms. Droupadi Murmu was officially elected as the next president of India, becoming the first tribal person and the second woman to occupy the top constitutional post of president in the world's largest democracy, India. Ms. Murmu is a member of the ruling National Democratic Alliance, or the NDA. Ms. Murmu was born into a tribal family in the state of Odisha and was originally a teacher before starting in public service, becoming Odisha's Minister of State and eventually the governor of the nearby state, Jharkhand. And now, with this experience, she was nominated by the NDA's largest party, the BJP, or Bharatiya Janata Party, as the NDA's candidate for the 2022 presidential elections. Mrs. Murmu won the majority percentage of the votes in the elections and was announced as the next president of India on July 21st, 2022. Ms. Murmu will be sworn in on July 25th, 2022 by the Chief Justice of India, Shri N.V. Ramana. This is historic, seeing as a woman, and that too a teacher, will be serving as the head of the world's largest democracy, India. And finally, we have an update on the COVID-19 situation. Interestingly enough, cases are inching up again, with the 7-day worldwide average at 1 million cases per day, with 128,000 of those from the USA. Deaths are now only beginning to catch up with the case count, with 2,565 worldwide. 433 of those are from the United States. President Biden has announced that he has actually contracted COVID-19, although official reports say that he is getting better. Dr. Anthony Fauci stated that the virus is not going to be eradicated or eliminated, saying that we're going to have to live with it, but we've got to do better than we're doing right now. President Biden appeared for the first time since his diagnosis in a live virtual meeting on gas prices, stating that he is feeling much better than he sounds. So we all hope that the president will come out of COVID-19 safely and securely. The fourth vaccine to be authorized by the FDA is the Novavax vaccine. Novavax is a company that has been focusing very hard on this and will now be joining Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson as one of the 4 companies to have vaccines authorized by the Food and Drug Administration of the United States. This vaccine is 90.4% effective, and it's an alternative for those who are allergic to RNA vaccines like those from Pfizer and Moderna. Also, it's the typical protein-based vaccine, which uses a harmless version of the virus to build immune system's defenses against it. And this might actually convince a few people to get vaccinated, since many have chosen not to get immunized due to skepticism surrounding the RNA nature of the previous vaccines. And the vaccine is also recommended as a booster shot. Even if you've already gotten previous doses of a different vaccine, Novavax's system gives the body more ways to combat the virus through the different approach. Therefore, it may as well actually help. Officials hope that this new vaccine might help get those who are still unvaccinated in America to finally give it a shot. And that is all of your news of the week for the week of July 17th to July 23rd, 2022. Thanks so much for watching. Love you, Akash.